Are you throwing money away by paying crazy HOA fees? Or is a condo actually a better investment than a house? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna share with you the pros and cons of buying a house versus buying a condo. Which one's gonna appreciate more? A common myth is that condos don't appreciate as much as houses. So we're gonna talk about that theory. We're gonna talk about what's going on with HOA prices, why they're so high, and whether buying a house or a condo is a better choice for you, and a few other steps so make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end so you get the most value out of this video. And if you're enjoying my videos, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get notified of our next video, which I'm gonna talk to you guys about how to compete with all cash buyers. For those of you living in high net worth areas, this is a common problem. You're getting outbid. What do? I'm gonna tell you exactly the strategies that you can implement to beat out all cash buyers and get that house of your dreams. Before we talk about the big myth of do houses appreciate more than condos, let's talk about the pros and cons of each. So let's start with a house. What are the pros of buying a house versus a condo? Number one, you get more privacy. Number two, you get a backyard. Big deal if you have kids who like to run around and play. Number three, no HOA fees. Number four, no neighbors banging, hanging up stuff, hanging up pictures at midnight and all, times of the day and night, just, throwing off your sleep patterns and all that stuff. So those are the pros of buying a house. You get more privacy, you get a little separation from your neighbors, and you don't have to worry about, that person who's just being a huge nuisance, playing loud music and all that. So those are the pros of buying a house. So what are the downsides of buying a house? Number one, more upkeep. You're gonna have to pay for a gardener. If you have a pool, you have to pay for a pool guy. Anything that happens to your house, you are responsible for. Versus with a condo, common spaces, things like that, the HOA will take care of. But I think the biggest downside of buying a house versus a condo is the high price point of entry. Okay, so your point of entry on a house, I live in LA, I'm in West Hollywood. A house in West Hollywood starts at $1 million. If you want to go a little bit on the outskirts, you want to go to the valley or something like that, you're probably looking at 500, 600,000 just for a starter home. Okay, so that's one of the biggest challenges for first-time home buyers buying a house is that high entry point for buying a single family home in LA, San Francisco, San Diego. It's just you're not going to get as much and you're going to have to pay top dollar. So those are the downsides of buying a house. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of buying a condo. Okay, so benefit or pro number one. First benefit is low upkeep. Okay, so anything that happens outside of your unit is HOA's responsibility. Anything inside the unit is your responsibility, but definitely less upkeep costs than buying a house. The second benefit of buying a condo is the low price point for entry. Okay, so you can get a condo at a much lower price level than a single family house. So that brings us to number three, which is you get more bang for your buck. You could probably get a completely renovated condo for cheaper in a more desirable area than a single family home. So what I mean by that is if you're living in an area that's high cost, high net worth, LA, San Diego, San Francisco, it's gonna be very, very hard as a first-time home buyer, unless you're making a lot of money, to buy a single family home in a great location, okay? So if you want the best locations in San Francisco, San Diego, and LA, it's gonna cost a lot to buy a house. So you're gonna be able to buy something in a lot better location by buying a condo. So those are the pros of buying a condo versus a house. So what are the downsides of buying a condo? Number one, less privacy. Like we talked about earlier, you could have a loud neighbor and could cause a lot of noise, throw off your sleep, and it's just not a fun thing to deal with. The other downside of buying a condo is HOA fees. You're gonna have an extra cost of anywhere between $300 to $1,000 a month nowadays, which is an additional cost for owning a condo. The third downside of buying a condo is no backyard. Best case scenario, you get a patio, but if you have a kid, you're gonna have no backyard. So that's another downside of buying a condo. So these are just some of the reasons that you might wanna buy a house versus a condo. depending on your family situation, where you're at in your life, you may want one or the other. So if the prime location is important, no kids, you might want to go with a condo, right? If you're single, no big deal, just deal with whatever comes with the condo. If you're a growing family and you have kids, you're expanding, house might be a better decision. But the biggest concern for people debating between house and condo is they don't think a condo will appreciate as much as a house. And I see people walk away from condos just for that reason, okay? Homeowners put a lot of money into buying their first home and their property, and they want a good return on their investment when they sell, which I totally understand. I'm with you on that. So real quick, before we move on, if your guess is that condos are a better investment, type condo in the comment box below. If you think a house is a better investment, type house in the comment box below. I'd love to get you guys' feedback on what you guys think, okay? So leave a comment and tell me which one you think would appreciate more. So now here's the next thing. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. So let's look at numbers and see which are appreciating more, houses or condos. And we're gonna look at a couple of cities around LA and compare the average price of a condo and the average price of a house and see which one has increased more in value over the last 5 years. So take a look at these charts here while we talk about which ones appreciate more. As you can see from this first chart, we're looking at single family homes sold in Sherman Oaks, California in the last 5 years between the price of $500,000 to $1 million. 5 years ago in Sherman Oaks, California, the average price per square foot on a house was $452. 5 years later, it's $598. That's an increase of 32% over 5 years. Pretty damn good. On the second chart that we're gonna look at here, we're gonna look at condos that have sold in West Hollywood for the last 5 years. So remember, Sherman Oaks, 32%. 5 years ago, the average price per square foot on a condo in West Hollywood was $522. Today, $709. 35% increase in value. So condos in West Hollywood have actually appreciated more than single family homes in Sherman Oaks. Okay, so for those of you who are familiar with these areas, you know Sherman Oaks is a highly desirable area. So for condos to outperform homes, that's a pretty big deal, guys. So if you're in the mindset, of course, every city and location is different. You got to do your research, and that's where a good realtor comes in, or if you have the time, you could do this stuff yourself. But if you have shut off the idea of buying a condo because you think it's not a good investment, think again. The numbers don't lie, guys. 35% for condos in West Hollywood versus 32% in houses in Sherman Oaks. And guys, there's another long-term trend that you want to consider. So when I say long-term, I'm talking about in the next 20 to 50 years. If you live in a big city like LA, the Bay Area and San Francisco, or San Diego, what you got to remember is that there's only so much space to build homes, right? There's only so much you can build horizontally, okay? We can't create more land than what we have. This is what we got, okay? After we've spread out and we've built homes horizontally across these big cities, guess what? There's more people still always migrating to San Francisco, LA, and San Diego. So if more people are coming in and we're maxed out horizontally, what's the next logical step? We're gonna have to build vertically, right? New York is the greatest example of this. There's only so much space, so cities are gonna grow vertically. And if you've driven around in any big city, you'll see all the construction going on, okay? So if we're building vertically, what does that mean? Okay, that means condos. That means condos are gonna have to be built because there's so many people moving in and there's only so much land and only so many houses that people are gonna be forced to buy condos, and condos are gonna go up in value, in my opinion, over the next 20 to 50 years because there's only so much land we have to work with, so there's no choice but to build vertically. And I'm already seeing it happen in my city of West Hollywood. Buildings are getting taller and taller, and it's just more and more condos being built. And people are still moving here like crazy, year over year over year. So that's not stopping. So here's another couple of examples of sold condos and how much they've increased in the last 5 years. So here's a couple of cities I did some research on for you guys. Downtown LA, 5 years, 33% increase. Westwood Century City, 41% increase in prices for condos. These are all condos, guys. Los Feliz, 45%. Silver Lake Echo Park, 42%. Brentwood, 36%. Now, that's not to say that all condos will appreciate more than homes, but it's important to do your research, like I said, and just look at these numbers. These numbers are not lying. 45% in certain cities, okay? And location's a big part of this. So if you can buy a condo in the right area, you can make just as much profit, if not more, than a single family home. So guys, if you guys have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and if you think a friend or family member would find this video interesting or valuable, someone who's looking to buy, please feel free to share it with them. All the love is greatly appreciated. If you're curious about home or condo prices in your area that I didn't mention in this video, please feel free to type the name of your city in the comments below, and I will tell you how much condos have increased in price versus houses. Just type the city in the comment box below, and I'll get back to you guys and let you guys know. And lastly, if you haven't picked it up already, I know I keep pushing this, but please download our free Millennials Roadmap for First-Time Homebuyers. Get it now, guys. It's completely free. The link's in the description, and I talk about all the hacks and tricks that you can use to win your first home sale or your next home sale. Thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate it. And keep an eye out for our next video where we're gonna talk about how to beat all cash buyers. So this is something that's happening in high price areas. People are coming in all cash, but I'm gonna share with you the secrets to beat out those offers, beat out cash offers, and get your offer accepted. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.